Hello everybody, this is Simeonski. Welcome to another Rec Room tutorial. In this one, I'm gonna explain to you one of the mechanics that I used in my games and also show you how you can build this mechanic into your game step by step. Today I will show you how you build a more advanced object system mini game than the one I showed you before. And this is an example from my game The Precious Pearl, where you can go into this shop area, you get a task, milkshake to table 1. You put the milkshake to the table 1, and you get your next task, coffee to table 1. With coffee to table 1, she's happy. Milkshake to table 2. So you get the basics of it. So you basically have 4 different objects here that you have to deliver to a certain place. So it's basically 2 values that are combined here and that are randomly spread out. So let's go to our macro room and see how we can do this. As you see, there's something in my macro room already. This is what we built in the last tutorial. This was a simple system that we have different objects. They need to be put into this thing. And yeah, basically, if you put the right object in the right thing, it will give you a point. So I will use this system that you already saw in the last video. Oh, if you didn't see the last video, I will go explain a little bit what's happening and what I'm changing, but not too much. If you didn't see the last video, it's better to watch the last video to see how the basic system is working. But how I want to change it now, I want to add another random value. And this will be basically on which place you put it. We have this box here now. This is box 1. And we will create a second and a third box. But we can do this easily by copying what we already have. So let's say we will have 3 places where I can put stuff. This is 1. This will be 2 in front of this window for this example, and that the 3 will be back there. So let's see how we do that. We already have the system here basically, and it's basically almost the same, but a little bit different. You already have the system here that you press the button, it will put out a value here, a text value. It says put here pyramid, or put here wedge, or put here wedge again. So it's random, so you can add more than one things to that list. But we want to add a second list, and you can even have a third value, but maybe for the sake of easiness, this is what helped me. So basically we will have to put our second value in between these 2 things. So the first thing will be, it says our box. And now my name is not the best, so maybe I will change that name for this example. And yeah, change the name, and I change the name to object. So we know this is the object we want to place in whichever place. We have to change it here as well. Object. So, and the box value will be which box we are putting it in, basically. So we basically have to do the same things we did here again before we add the text. And let's also not put the text up here, but let's put it up here where we actually created. Yeah, this doesn't have to go too far here. Okay. A little bit messed up now. But yeah, let's put the text over here. So now this is where we created it. And we basically, for this example, and let's put the text even further down the road. A little bit more space here to redo this in a way and put it in between. So what we want to do here now is we will create an integer and use a variable again. And for this, actually we don't even need these two steps here because it's an integer. So we can just take a random, not float, yeah, we just take a random integer and put this in between. So, let's say we will have 3 boxes. We will name the boxes 1, 2, 3. And so we set the random integer that will be put out here from 1 to 3. Connected to this integer, and this integer we will call, for this example, box, because it will show which box, 1 or 2 or 3, we will have to put our thing in. Don't forget to submit. And of course, as I told you in the previous example, if this should only run for one person, then you need to keep everything as it is. If it should be for everyone in the room, you will have to sync this as well. Okay. And here we have a new string thing. So we already put the object in here. But now you can see we have only one object connected with the toString value. That's not a problem, because in this string format thing, as I showed you already in another video before, we can add more inputs. And so they will be numbered. So we connect this, so the number becomes a string. And we can change the text here and call it put 0, which is the first connected, into box. And 1 will be the second connected to this. So it will now tell us where we need to put the box. No, it will not yet. We of course have to trigger it with this. And this is how we add the first step of our thing. So this should already change put cube into box 3, put wedge into box 3, put wedge into box 3, put cube into box 2. So this will give out random numbers of what to put in what box. And what we have to do here now is actually super easy. We will keep this stuff as it is. Just, that's for the sake of simpleness. Also, just give and let's have every box count itself how much it added. Otherwise, you would basically if you want to count for everything, like, or you can also do other things here. Yeah, you can, for example, use it as I did in my game, to use it to get money for your. I will have another video that will show you how you have a money system that could add money to your account, basically, that you use in game. But for the sake of easiness, we keep everything as it is for now. It will count, every box will count for itself. But where we actually have to set some barrier, so to speak, is in between this point and this point. Why? Very simple. You can also put it after this, but it's always good to put barriers in front of things. And we basically just have to check. Use the if chip, use the equals chip. Here it's important to not go over or something like that, but really use the equals chip, because we want this chip to basically check if this value that's called box is the same like our box over here. Very easy. So the value that will change all the time that you click this button of box, we will want to compare this with, this is box 1, so we'll type in box 1. So only if the value is the same, our chain will basically continue and go ahead and check all the other stuff and then add the number to the text. And this is now very easy. And of course you don't need to do it exactly that same way. I'm just putting the text here now, but you can just clone this, flip it around. So we have our box 2 over here now, and our box 3 will be going a little bit the wrong direction, but for now it's just an example. So this will be our box 2. What we need to do is just change this value to 2, so it checks if it wants to have box 2 here and this box 3. So that's now an easy system that you can put things in different places. Let's see how it works, if it works actually. So put cube into box 1. We have the cube here. Here's our box 1. Put it in. It works. Put it in here. Nothing's happening. Reset the system. Put cube into box 1. Okay, let's see what's happening if we put it into box 1. Nothing is happening. It's not going beyond that first if chip. Put it in here. It's working. And what happened here now, which we will fix right away, is that we only have this one value called counter. So that's why it's giving me a 2 now, even though it should only give me a 1. You can change that if you recall this value into counter 2, this into counter 3, and this into counter 1. Then it will do for every single box. What you could as well do is you basically connect this after the counter thing instead of having it in 3 different spots. Connect it with this one text box over here. And that should do the trick as well, and then it will only appear here. So that's how you do this more advanced object triggering system. Thank you guys for watching. As always, like and subscribe the video if you liked it, or leave a comment. You can also leave comments on what you want to see more on this channel. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.